Hey. I know I'm out here looking a little crazy, but I'm out here riding the bike, getting my exercise and getting some sun, getting some vitamin D, strengthening that melanin. Shalom, everybody. I'm in a different location this time. Me and my seed, we just riding around right now. I want to talk, and I'm facing the sun so I can get the sun rays, so I can, even though it's a little further away, now I know what people mean when they say you get your vitamin D really when the sun is at its peak, which is at 12 noon. That's when it gets really, really hot, and you can tell. The sun was in and out at that time, and I know that because I was working at that time, and I just got off at that time. But anyway, I want to finish the story so we can start getting into the stories that's leading up to the 12 tribes, okay? All right, so Sarah finally ended up having a son named Isaac, for he will be the father of many nations. Him and Abraham, they are the pillars of all the 12 tribes. Now, as Sarah, as they had like a little celebration for Isaac, celebrating his winging off of Sarah, Hagar's son Ishmael was making fun of Isaac. So Sarah seen it and went and told Abraham, and at this time the Most High changed his name to Abraham. She went and told him that, get this woman, Hagar, and her son Ishmael away from us. Make them leave, make them go. They did their duty. In this case, she just wanted them to go. She didn't want her son to share nothing with Ishmael. So Abraham, even though he didn't want to do it, but he knew he had to do it, because just like we said, how can two rulers rule one kingdom? Same situation. It's almost like everything repeats itself still. So the next day after the ceremony, the next following day, Abraham gave Hagar, some food, water, just enough so she can go off on her own. And her and her son, they left and went their own way. Now, they've been walking so long, and where they walked, they went towards the desert. And they consider that as the wilderness. So she was walking, and her and her son were dehydrated. They didn't have any food, didn't have any water, and she didn't want to see her son die in front of her. I don't think no mother wants that. So she cried out to the Most High, and the Most High heard her son's cry. He heard his voice from heaven crying because, he's about to die. She is too. So she asked the Most High to give her a small mercy. She asked him, do not let me see my son die. So, like I said, the Most High heard Ishmael's cry. He told Hagar that he will be the father of many nations. As I said in the previous video, part 6, this is part 7. He told him that he will be the father of many nations, preferably of 12 princes, which still holds and stands today. Actually, he is the father of many princes. There's actually over 100 princes over east. So, getting back to the subject, the Most High didn't let Hagar or her son die. In the distance, she saw a well of water. So she nourished her and her son back to strength. And now the story is switching back over to Sarah and Abraham. Now, for Sarah and Abraham, Sarah started getting old. And so was Isaac. Isaac is starting to grow into a man now. He's still... But before I get into that story... it's a story of sacrifice. It's a story that I'm about to tell you of something that the Most High probably, if not, have tested all of us on. And that's if we're willing to make a sacrifice for him, regardless what it is. Now, during the time where Isaac was still growing, after he was weaned, a little time later, the Most High wanted to know about Abraham. Since I gave you this child, since I gave you this son, I want to know, are you truly faithful to me? Do you love me? Because even though I gave him to you, I can easily take him away. So what the Most High did or told him is that he was, I gave you your son, you had him, and now I'm about to take him away as a sacrifice. So the Most High said to use him, as an offering unto him. Abraham did not want to do it. He didn't. But he knew, he had to listen to what the Most High said. He was faithful and true to him, and the Most High wanted, and I think one of the reasons why the Most High did that, because don't forget, he told Abraham that I will make your son of many nations. He wanted to make sure he chose and made the right choice. So what he did was have Abraham go to Mount Moriah. I think it was Mount Moriah. I'm pretty sure it's Mount Moriah. To go offer up Isaac on this mountain. As Isaac and Abraham is walking up to this mountain, Isaac is asking his father, where's the sacrifice? Abraham told him, Yah will provide. So as they get up there, they both built the altar. Abraham put his son Isaac on the altar. And what I like about Isaac is they never said throughout the story that he complained. He asked his father what was he doing. He just did it with no hesitation. That's how the Most High Yah knew, man, this is the man right here. I made the right choice. Even his son was willing to sacrifice himself for me and what I wanted. So just as Abraham was about to make Isaac and send him up as a sacrifice to the Most High Yah, an angel told Abraham to stop. Don't sacrifice the young lad. In a thicket bush from afar off, they saw the sacrifice that the Most High Yah wanted Abraham to actually sacrifice. The Most High told him to stop, and the angel told him, the angel told him, don't do it. You're proven. Basically, he proved himself worthy unto him, that he was willing to sacrifice his own son. So the Most High blessed him even more. That made Abraham so happy that he didn't have to sacrifice his son, because he only had him for a short while. Now, after this situation happened, Sarah is getting older now. And actually, Abraham's older than her. But Sarah, she's getting old in age and she's getting weary. At this time, she was 127 years old. She started getting sick. She actually died. She died a little time after that. Abraham was so hurt by it. He gave up offerings and he wept over her bitterly. So did Isaac. But Isaac, he was comforted in a different way, which is leading up to his wife, on how he got his wife. Next, for Abraham, he goes to tell his servant to come here. I'm getting up to age now. I'm getting older now. I need you to do something for me. My son needs a wife. I need you to go out and get him one. I need you to find a faithful woman, a righteous woman. And I want you to test her. And if you feel that she's a good fit for my son, bring her back here for him to wife. That servant was very faithful and loved Abraham, because he was a righteous man and he was a man of the Most High Yah. He did what Abraham said. Now at this time, Isaac is a man now. Taking care of his father's inheritance, in which he actually inherited everything of Abraham's. Everything. The servant goes out to do the will of his master, Abraham. He goes to find Rebekah. He goes to Abraham's brother's house. And correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm trying to remember all this stuff. He went to his brother's house, told him to, do not give him a woman from Canaan. Do not give him a woman from the land we at right now. Go out to my brother's house and get a woman. So he went to Haran. As he goes down there, this is the servant now. The servant goes to his brother Haran's dwelling. And the servant said, I'm going to wait for some women to come out here to get their water, to do their daily, routine. Go to the well, get some water so they can feed their flock. He said, whichever one comes out to lend me a hand, whichever one offers me a drink, and then give drink to my animals, to my camels, that's the one. So Rebecca came out. Everything I just said, not only did she give the servant drink, she gave his servants drink and gave his cattle to something to drink. When she did that, he knew that this is the one. She is the one. And then coincidentally, she just so happened to be the daughter of Haran, which is Abraham's brother. So that worked out just fine because she came from the same lineage, same family, same tree. The young girl, the servant talks to the young girl, tells him who sent him, who he is, and why he's there. The young girl goes back, tells her father. The father bring him here. Let's meet him. Got to talk to him. And he said, and he offered him some food to eat. And he told him, now before I eat, I need to, tell you why I'm here. He told him the same thing. And he said, I'm here to get a wife for my master's son. And Isaac, so they asked her, the mother and father of Rebecca was not going to agree until they knew she was willing and wanted to go. And I like the fact that they had respect enough for her to the point they left it up to her to make the decision. They didn't just ship her off and make her marry anybody, which is what they do now in the Middle East, and that's what they call arranged marriage. Here, back then, if a wedding was arranged, both parties have to be willing to want to marry each other. In this case, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm trying to chase this feather my son gave me. Okay, so back to her. So she goes off. So she decides she wants to marry Isaac. The father the parents, especially the father, wanted her to stay with them for a little while, and they would send for her to go with him later. But the servant was like, no, she has to come now. She needs to come right now. She can't stay because the master wants me to bring her now. So they asked the daughter, do you want to go with this man? She said, I will go. Because I guess at that time, she okay, I'm ready to have babies. I'm ready to get married. I want to be, she wanted to become one with someone else. So she ended up leaving with the servant. But before she left with the servant, her family, kissed her, wished her well. They gave her handmaids and servants to take as well, too, to look and, care for her. She kissed her family goodbye, and she left and went with the servant. So as she goes back to the servant, they're getting close. They're getting back to the land of Canaan where Abraham and Isaac is. But she sees Isaac off in the field walking. So she asked the servant, who's this man that's walking towards us? She said, that is my master's son. So she put the veil over her face because she didn't want him to see her. Because, she was a little nervous. she was a little afraid. And the servant introduced Isaac to her. She met him. And don't forget, Sarah died at this point. So Isaac took Rebecca into his mother's tent. They got married in her tent. And he laid down with her. And they conceived and had a son, which is called, oh my gosh, Esau, y'all. Esau had a son named Esau who came out red and ruddy. If you don't know the color red and ruddy is brownish red. It is not white and you turn red. No, it's reddish brown. It's almost like when you see like a red-haired woman, a red-haired white woman. Her hair is not like jet red. No, it's like a orange brownish red color. But and they also have like horses and animals the color red, and actually people are red. I'm actually a reddish colored person, but I'm not from the tribe of Esau. I'm not, because the Most High, if he really wanted to take me out, he would not have spared me as much as he did throughout my lifetime. He would have been took me out, y'all. But in this case, and I'm not a bad person, I'm not, but like the Most High say in the Bible, he loved Jacob but hated Esau. The Most High has really shown mercy and favor to me. So getting back to him, they conceived and had a son named Esau, who came out red like a hairy garment, red and rooty, very hairy. And he grew up to be a hunter. He grew up to be a strong man. He grew up to be a hunter. After that, they conceived again and had a son. And that son was named Jacob. Our forefather, our father finally came out, y'all. He came out second. But before he came out, I'm not going to say they conceived again. She bared twins. And if I said she conceived again, I'm sorry. But no. She ended up having twins in her stomach. And the twins was wrestling in her stomach. And the Most High... And she was wondering why, her stomach felt so funny. And the Most High told her that you have two nations in your stomach. Two of them. The older will serve the younger in this case. He didn't tell her that part yet, but it was coming. But he basically told her that you have two nations in your stomach, two great nations in your stomach. And he told her that later. But getting back to the twins. One came out, Esau, as a reddish, ruddy reddish color, hairy garment. He grew up to be a hunter. And right after he came out, Jacob was holding the heel of his foot. He was literally holding the heel of his foot. The heel of it. It almost portrays the phrase used in the Bible, whereas Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning. He starts off, he ends it, and Jacob comes right afterwards. And that's exactly how it was. So right after Esau came out, Jacob came out next, and he came out regular. And when Jacob grew up, he grew up just like Abel did. It was almost like the same thing. Like I said, history is repeating itself, just like Ecclesiastes say. In Ecclesiastes chapter 3, there is nothing new under the sun, and it is not, because the same thing repeated itself twice. The first son came out, and he came out as a hunter, and actually Ishmael was the same way. Ishmael was a hunter, and he was an archer. And when he grew up and he went to his own land and started doing his own stuff, he dwelt in Paran. A lot of people, and I forgot to mention that in the previous video, the part 6. This is part 7 of the video. He dwelt in Paran. He dwelt in the wilderness. And afterwards, when it comes back to like with Cain and Abel, Cain was the hunter. Abel dwelt in tents. Now it's Esau and Jacob, or Jacob. Esau is the hunter, and Jacob, whose name will be changed later, he dwelt in tents, and he basically watched over the flock. He stayed at home. So I'm going to end that story there, because this is getting longer than what I thought. I thought it was going to be 15 minutes. Excuse me, you guys. But I do want to thank you guys for listening and watching. I hope it's been edifying. I'm doing the Most High's work, because in this case right now, it don't matter if it's a man or a woman doing it right now, and I'm not doing it amongst men. That's the thing. It's a respecting. You can't teach amongst men. I'm doing this over the phone, and if I can get through to anybody, Israelite, Gentile, even the oppressors, so they can actually learn the truth. We are the true people of the book. And I love my people to death. And I pray that the Most High bless us as a nation and bless the strangers and the people that will be amongst us when he do come and rule back this world again, and we will be with him in his bosom. I give all praises to the Most High Yah. And a lot of people call him by many names, but we all have the same prefix, Yah. And I will call him by Ahaya Esha Ahaya, which is in Exodus chapter 3, verses 13 through 15. And his son Yeshaya. I give all praises unto them. Hallelujah. I thank you guys for watching this video, and I hope you guys have a good day. I'm about to go in the house. And like I said, enjoy the sunny days while it's still here. So, Tawada, Toda Rabah, and Hallelujah. Bye.